Welcome to a podcast for nerds, the show where two dudes that met as kids discuss our journey with all things nerdy as well as life as we near our 30s. I'm Dakota.
And I'm Cody. Welcome back.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Second try. Okay, maybe third try. I did it.
Yeah, this was, normally we read that off the script. Dakota wanted to go free form, and it only took a couple tries, but we got there.
Freeform, formerly ABC Family, but now we're Freeform.
Yes, exactly. How are you doing today, Dakota? Guys, actually, before you answer, I just want to say, for the first time ever, not ever, for the first time in so long, it's actually only been a week since we recorded the last podcast, amazingly. So,
it's a weird feeling. It was a bit of a, I had a bit of a run around after I got off work. Normally can come straight home, but we had to take care of some things today.
Some business.
Didn't know it, but we ended up dog sitting a dog today. Didn't know that was going to happen, so that was part of it. But it's fine.
Was it a cool dog?
But that's why I was a little late getting on here. But everything's set up smooth.
I don't think you were really that late. Like, we were still early. I think this part of this is the time change. Like, do you know that I'm doing this like an hour to an hour and a half earlier than we used to? I think because you guys had the time change there. I didn't. It's not even 7 yet for me still. It's 6:48.
So I'm used to you being an hour ahead of me. Like, obviously 12 hours, but like 13 hours ahead of me instead of 12.
Yeah, now it's only 12, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's only 6:48 here, so I think so.
Because the time changed during that time that we were not talking.
Okay, so I've been used to you being an hour ahead of me.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not, nobody cares about it. Doesn't matter. How have you been since the last week? What have you been up to?
Not a whole lot, really. Reading some One Piece. I was a little sick over the last weekend. Just had some tummy issues. But we're all good now.
Stomach COVID.
Huh?
Stomach COVID.
Nah.
Must be.
No, I don't think it was that. I think there was supposedly some kind of little stomach bug going around, and I think I caught it.
Always. I don't know what it is in the U.S. I feel like I don't really see that here in Philippines that much. But, like, I've been so many times I'm in the U.S. where everyone's like, yeah, there's a stomach bug going around, and then I end up getting it too. Like, where are these stomach bugs coming from?
I mean, I don't. It doesn't help that I ate like a whole 12-inch Pizza King Friday night.
Oh,
but normally that just makes me gassy.
Tell me that.
Oh, I know you miss it.
I do. I do miss Pizza King for sure. If there are any Filipinos listening, like, the closest thing I get when I'm in Philippines, I think the best pizza I've found, it's not even really close, is this one called S&R. At S&R, their pizza, but it's nothing like Pizza King. There's nothing I get here that's even comes close to Pizza King.
It's very, very tasty. You would like Cassano's. It's a place in Ohio.
But then I have to go to Ohio.
Debate all the time. Well, we could bring it back.
Oh, okay.
But it's very tasty. It's similar to Donato's, I think. I think it's tastier though.
Okay, that's good. Because I'm like, you're not helping right now. Donato's isn't bad, but if we're saying Donato's compared to Pizza King, like, come on. It's not even a question. Well,
the thing about Cassano's, this place, is the thing that makes them, for me at least, stand out, is they salt the bottom of the pizza.
Oh.
So the bottom of the pizza has a salty taste.
I can't imagine that. I guess I have to try it.
It's very tasty. It's very, very tasty.
I do love salt.
I do like it a lot. I prefer Pizza King just because their pizza is a little more doughy.
Right. Yeah.
I think we had this exact conversation on one of our earlier episodes.
We did. But I wanted to add to it.
Too far into it.
Yeah, I wanted to just add a couple of things into the whole I miss pizza thing. And that's that I'm to the point with pizza, where if I could just like get a Jack's pizza, I would be happy. Like a good Jack's or a Tombstone, like I would take
What
that.
about a DiGiorno?
I'm not crazy, bro. I mean, of course, I would kill for a DiGiorno, but I mean, obviously, DiGiorno's on another level. Of course, I want DiGiorno. I was talking to Chris the other day. Chris and I have been playing a little bit of RuneScape recently, and so I was talking to him, and he was making a DiGiorno's pizza while on call with me. Like
Oof.
the nerve of this kid to eat a DiGiorno's pizza with me on call. But yeah, I would love a DiGiorno's pizza. I actually have an oven here now, so if I saw DiGiorno's pizza in the grocery store, sometimes they import stuff. If I saw
Maybe
one,
Amazon could.
bro, Amazon doesn't. You can't get Amazon here. I mean, you can, but it's not.
Really?
Also,
Surprising.
you want
I guess there's
Amazon's
not really
gonna
Amazon
deliver
warehouses.
food? No, like you
I think
cannot
Amazon will
get.
deliver food.
You can't get most of the things from Amazon here, and then the things you can get, it takes like over a month to deliver, and you have to pay really high shipping fee.
Wow.
My Amazon accounts have
Jeff
even been
Bezos.
deactivated because of using them in the Philippines. Like it's really annoying.
Wow.
That's one of the things I have to fix when I go back to US is get my Amazon account working again. Super frustrating.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm looking
but
up on Amazon to see if you can get DiGiorno.
can you?
No.
I didn't think they're gonna ship food, bro. I mean, I think maybe some food they'll ship it, but
You
that's
can get a frozen pizza, but it's from Whole Foods.
I want something.
So you can get
good.
Whole Foods. Yeah, that's what it looks like. You can get Whole Foods on here, but
The other pizza I really miss is not something I eat often, but it's something that is just it's got a place in my heart and in my brain of being like maybe the best pizza in the world. It's hard for me to say that because I look at it differently, and that's Giordanos.
I know you're gonna say that. You know how many Chicago people hate when people bring up Giordanos?
I don't
I've
care.
learned.
I don't care. I'm not
It's
from
tasty.
Chicago, and I love it.
I agree. It's delicious.
So where should I go? Where do the
We
Chicago
gotta-
people say to go?
I don't know. I have to ask my buddy. I have to ask. You remember Ray? I'll have to ask him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, ask him where we're supposed to go instead of Giordano's. Because to me, Giordano's is like one of the best pizzas I've ever had. But if there's something better than that, let me know.
Well, supposedly that's not true Chicago style pizza.
Then whatever that's
Just
I
deep
like
dish
it.
pizza. Supposedly there's like a true Chicago style pizza that's a bit more of a traditional style kind of pizza.
I mean, yeah, I'll for sure try it. I would love to try it. I just need.
I mean, hey, I'm not gonna say no to a slice.
Yeah, a slice because Giordano's is so freaking thick. If I eat 2 slices, I'm probably gonna vomit. So a slice.
Dude, you get one. That pizza lasts you all weekend.
All weekend? All week? If you're alone.
I said all week.
If I'm alone,
you're alone.
maybe. I mean, unless I'm eating it for every
if I'm
meal.
I don't know, man. I don't think I could make that pizza last a week. It'd probably go bad.
I mean, that's true, but yeah. Anyway, okay. we can move on from the pizza talk. If there's anything you guys want to add in the comments, if any of you are from Chicago, let us know where we should go. Maybe there's differing opinions. Maybe people have different ideas of what the best Chicago's pizza is. I'll try them all.
I have a one up on you. I have actually had authentic New York style pizza
With the New York water?
random little hole in the what?
With the New York tap water in the dough? That's the secret ingredient. That's what they say in New York. The tap water, the New York
it
tap
could be.
water. Yeah, it's like
If
putting
it-
gold in a pizza.
It very well could be. It was tasty though. I went to some. I don't remember what it was called. It was over a decade ago. Went to some little hole in the wall pizza joint, which is where you're supposed to go. I think when you get pizza, you're not supposed to go
Right.
to like some big fancy chain. You're supposed to go to some like mom and pop place.
Right. Right. It's the
And
same
get,
with like Mexican
some
food, right?
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went, got myself a slice that was like this big.
Oh, the slice was that big?
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge. I'm exaggerating, but it was like huge.
For those listening, he's like putting his
Um,
hands like shoulder width apart or more.
it wasn't that big. It was probably a good size. It was about the size of my head, I'd say.
Okay. Did you fold it?
I mean, some people will say that's not that big a slice, but I mean, they served it by the slice.
Right.
You could order a whole pizza to go, but I mean, if you just were gonna eat there, you bought a slice.
Did you fold it?
No, I probably did not. I probably double-handed it.
Bro, so you didn't
really
even
I don't
actually
fold my-
eat New York pizza. You have to fold it, or it's not New York style. That's the
I
law.
don't know, man. I don't fold my pizza when I eat, though.
I wouldn't go back to New York if I were you. Was that in New York?
Yeah, that was in New York. It was like
Okay.
deep. That was.
Okay.
I think it was in Little Italy.
I wouldn't go back to New York if I were you. You might be arrested on entering for not folding it.
Oh, because I didn't fold it.
Yeah.
Well, they could
think
tell
that's
it was
law.
some dumb boy from Indiana wearing some sunglasses, some douchey sunglasses he bought
Right.
from
You
some
know-
guy on the corner of the street.
On Good Mythical Morning, they did pizza. It was a couple years ago, but I rewatched it recently. They did like what style of pizza is the best. And apparently there's Detroit style pizza, and I can't remember if it won. I think it got second place. It beat Chicago style.
I have heard of Detroit style. Maybe we're supposed to be going to Detroit later this year, so maybe we'll have to try it.
Yeah, we haven't announced anything about that yet. We might be in Detroit around, the beginning of November. If anybody, you can take that how you will. We'll talk more about that later.
Yeah.
But when we're in Detroit,
Yeah.
I would love to, I guess if anyone's listening and you know where we should get legit Detroit style pizza, let us know and maybe we can try it. I would love to try it while I'm there because I don't know. I don't want to waste that opportunity. But
I mean, we've wasted it 3 other times.
well, I didn't know before. It wasn't wasted because we didn't
Neither
know.
did I.
Yeah, now we know there's
Fair
a
enough, I
Detroit
guess.
style pizza. Yeah, so we shouldn't. We have to try it. If it's really that good, if it's really beating out like Chicago style, then I have to put that in my mouth. So
I do love a good Giordano. Anyway, well, that's enough about pizza.
dude, we're gonna talk about. I think we should start another podcast or just transform this podcast into a food podcast. We talk about food
Ugh.
at the beginning of I think like 80% of the episodes we've done so far.
It's true.
So
Oh Lord.
okay, so have you been consuming anything? Or I guess, I mean, you're the host today. Where do you want to go? Sorry, I shouldn't try to host it.
Yeah, we can start there. Again, I said we wouldn't talk about One Piece until I finished Act 2, and right? Is that what I said?
Till you did the Odin flashback.
Well, I'm in the middle of the Odin flashback.
Oh, okay. Really quickly, I just want to ask: has it just being in the middle of it? Has that changed your opinion?
I'm getting close to the end, I think.
Yeah, or no?
I'm getting close to the end of it, I think. And I'm going to say one thing.
Oh, is this spoilers?
I love Odin.
Oh, okay.
No, I love Odin. He's so cool.
I told you would love him. You were worried he would be like goofy, right? But he's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's so cool.
I'm so sad he's dead.
Oh.
Not a spoiler. Everyone knows
I'm
he's
not gonna-
dead from the
I
beginning.
won't go into anything right now because I said we wouldn't
Right.
talk about One Piece, but oof, I am really, really enjoying what's happening.
I know,
or
right?
Where the story's at right now. It's
Hmm.
it's so far my favorite thing I've ever read or watched, whatever consumed in One Piece.
You just mean Odin's
For sure.
flashback?
Just in this whole Wano
Ah.
in general, I think it's the best One Piece has ever been.
So are you saying, hold on, we're not going to talk a lot about One Piece, guys, but last week you were still making the argument that Marineford is the best arc. Are you saying Wano may be the best arc?
I gotta finish it, but
Okay.
it's definitely up there. It's definitely it's tied. I think it would be tied.
I mean, I just finished Wano because Oda's on break now, and he had put out the last chapter after we talked last time. So I just finished it last week, and yeah, Wano finished, and it was it's my favorite arc. I'll just say I really, considering that Izai and I just watched through all of One Piece, so it's all fresh in my brain. I really
How
think
far
Wano's-
behind is the anime?
Well, I'm not caught up on the
Because
anime,
they're on.
but I think I know where they're at.
Because the chapter, the most recent chapter was 1053,
Yes, that's right. And the anime.
and then after this, we're entering into the final arc.
I'm pretty sure the anime is at the. This is not a spoiler. It's just a fight with an enemy named. I think her name's Black Maria. Hold on. I need to see what chapter that is, and then I'll know where. What chapter does Black Maria fight happen? Okay, 1021. So the anime is right around chapter 1021. So they're about.
So they're about
30?
30 chapters behind.
Yeah. So that's a good amount, but it's also not a lot. It's a good amount, but it's not a huge amount. It's not a safe amount. We maybe have a filler arc.
Probably be less if they didn't add another, let's see, 15 freaking episodes to a 78 chapter arc.
I just hope, I'm really hoping, and some people might be mad about this, that after Wano, they either take a break, which I don't think they're allowed to do. Because I was reading about this. The reason newer shows like Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, these shows can go seasonal is because of the way the contracts are written. One Piece started so long ago and is like locked into these contracts where they have to put out episodes every week. They cannot go seasonal. The only way they can stop putting out episodes every week is during a holiday or like during the hack on Toei. That was a good enough excuse to not have to put out episodes. So that's why, because everyone nowadays is always wondering. I was wondering as well, like, why don't they just change One Piece to a seasonal anime? Like, it would be better. We just get the whole arc as a season and they can give it everything, really good animation, really good production, but they can't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They legally can't, contractually. So
That's a bummer.
I hope they just do a filler arc, something that like we can just ignore, pretend like it's a season break. Some people will be upset, but I would take it at this point. Just throw me some filler.
Two things I did. This will be the last thing we bring about One Piece,
Okay.
and then we'll stop until I finish Odin's
Okay.
arc, which could very well be by next week.
Probably will.
Then we'll be talking about One Piece again.
It probably will be. Yeah.
I might just wait until I finish Wano to talk about One Piece. I think I might just do that.
Yeah, maybe that would be better. Because you're close.
I'm
You'll finish it in a couple
Less
weeks.
than 100 chapters, but I'm like 90, between 80 and 90 chapters to go.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think we'll just wait until I finish Wano, and then we'll start talking about One Piece. By that time, will probably also be another chapter out, so we can maybe even discuss.
Well, he's on break for a month. I think you're gonna finish it within a month.
Well, we'll just see.
Okay.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, let's see.
How fast I'm going. I'm speeding through Odin stuff. Anyway, two things I did want to bring up next week. This might go into slight spoiler territory, but nothing too crazy.
Okay.
But I don't like any of their Wano names. Not the Wano people of Wano themselves. I mean, our Straw Hats.
Oh, I completely disagree with you. Luffy.
I do not like any
Zoro
of their names.
Zoro Juro, Luffy Taro, Frankonosuke. Is that his name? I can't even remember.
Franosuke.
Bro, I completely disagree.
I take that back. I do kind of like Usohachi.
Come on, that's great.
I like Usohachi, and I do like Orobi.
Orobi is great. Dude, it grows on you. I think because I read the manga and watched the whole Wano anime as well. Or not finished it yet, but I'm on Act 3 of the Wano anime. So I've heard their Wano names so many times at this point that I almost don't even know who Luffy is anymore. He's just Luffy Taro to me. His name has
See,
changed permanently.
no, I don't like that.
I love it, bro. They're fully in character.
He's Luffy. He's not Luffy Taro. He's Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy.
Monkey D. Luffy Taro.
No.
Rolls off the tongue.
No. And my other thing that I forgot to mention, this is just a gripe I had to get off my chest.
Okay.
Apparently the character, I might get some flack for this. The character I'm about to bash, I don't know how loved he is. I know Grand Line Review loves him.
I'll tell you.
I think Totally Not Mark also loves him.
I'll tell you if you're
I
wrong.
don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I really, really don't see the appeal of Beppo.
Oh, Beppo on Lost Crew?
Yes.
I mean, I think
from what I've seen of the character, one, I hate the characters who are clear, like Usopp at the beginning of One Piece when he's like, "I'm the captain of the crew, talk to me." I don't like that Beppo does that. There's a character in Dragon Ball Super, Jocko. You've seen him. I do not like Jocko. He's like that too. Wow, I am the strongest guy in the universe, but I'll let you guys stay over there and fight, and I'll just watch. Woo! And then meanwhile, he's watching the fight, thinking, "Wow, I could help these guys out, but I'm not strong enough."
Is Beppo that type
hate
of
that
character? He never came off like that to me.
From what I remember, because I remember him yelling at Law, being like, "What are you talking about? I'm the captain of this ship."
I think he's just goofy, like in a different way. I don't feel like he's that
Also,
archetype.
I don't like.
But I don't love him or hate him. I guess Beppo's a character I'm completely indifferent about.
I think that's I think that's the thing is was mostly indifferent about him, but then I've listened to 2 YouTubers now who do nothing but gush over Beppo anytime that he's even like on screen.
Maybe it's just the meme.
And I'm just like,
it's just a meme.
no, they like literally like Grand Line Review. He's like, "Oh, it's my darling Beppo," and I think Totally Not Mark said something.
Well, he's cute.
Similar, and
No,
not really. There's way cuter minks.
just because
Cat
there's
Viper
cuter
alone
doesn't mean he's not cute. Come on.
But he's not. He's got creepy, beady little eyes.
I like him.
I don't like Beppo.
I
don't like
him.
Beppo. There, I'm standing on this hill until he does something of use. I don't like Beppo.
Okay.
His bounty is worth less than Chopper.
It's a shame. Chopper, the most useless crew member, doesn't even need to be on the crew. They could kick him off at this point. I wouldn't even be mad. No, I'm just playing. I love Chopper.
I would've.
You guys know I love Chopper. Come on.
Chopper's great.
Chopper deserves a higher
Did you know
bounty.
he's voiced by Pikachu's voice actress?
I think I did know that, but I don't know why. Watching through Naruto in Japanese with Izai has been annoying because every child, basically, other than so Konohamaru, you know him? You know Konohamaru?
Yeah, that's the
He's
Hokage's grandson, right?
he's literally Chopper's voice. Exactly. Uses the exact same voice. And I cannot not hear Chopper every time. And then
So she not got good range, huh?
even
That was horrible grammar. She does not have good range.
I don't think you watched it in the anime, but in more One Piece really quick, in Sanji's flashback in Whole Cake Island, Sanji is Chopper. It's literally
Really?
Chopper. This is the same show, and you're just using Chopper's voice for Sanji. Makes me want to watch East Blue again and see his flashback and see if it was a different voice or if it was Chopper. Because I didn't watch East Blue in Japanese. I watched that in Funimation dub back in the day.
Very well. I doubt it. Funimation's got so many different voice
No,
actors now.
no, but I mean, I want to see it in Japanese and see if in the Japanese version, originally, it was Chopper's voice actor. Because that would have been before they met Chopper, so it wouldn't matter, but I'm just curious. So I am curious because there were some things you mentioned you might do since the last time we talked. Did you listen to any of The Wheel of Time?
I did listen to a little bit of it. I'm very confused.
Oh, with what?
I didn't get. I haven't gotten to listen to much of it because I have been wrapped up in listening to Murphy Napier.
Okay, we could talk about that in just a sec. Hold on. Because I'm just curious what you're confused about with the Wheel of Time. Like, how far did you get? Are you just in the prologue? Because in the prologue, I was confused.
I think, yeah, I think I'm only about an hour in.
So you're through the prologue?
Possibly?
I mean, the prologue's the part where there's the dude in the castle and he's like going crazy or whatever. And then there's the other guy and he's like, I beat you. And do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay.
Because it like started, when I started listening to it, it like started like weird. It almost felt like it was in the middle.
Yeah, that's the prologue.
Or at the, it was like almost like it would have been maybe 1 or 2 pages on the book.
Maybe you should send me the one you listened to, and I can tell you if it's started at the right spot or not. Maybe there's something wrong with it.
The book started at the beginning, I can tell you that, but I was confused. That might be why I'm a little confused by it right now.
But did you get into the actual, like... It's because what it is there's a prologue at the beginning where it's like years and years ago. I don't know how long ago exactly. And it confused me as well. Where like there's these 2 guys. They're in like a castle. And the guy, he killed his wife accidentally. He didn't realize it.
Yeah, none of this happened.
Are you sure? You need to send me what you're listening to. I'm starting to think
I'll
not listening to the right thing. Yeah, I need to look at this and make sure.
Well, when the book started, it's the beginning of a book, like where I'm at. I'm pretty sure it's the book. I think what I have like might have skipped the prologue to get rid of like copyright issues, maybe.
Maybe. Did you meet Rand?
I think so. Yeah.
Because that's the main character. If you didn't meet him, then there's definitely a problem.
Yeah. I met Rand. Yes, I did. I definitely met him.
And his dad?
Not a lot's happened. His dad?
Tam?
I'm not sure if I've met his dad.
You meet him first. You meet his dad first. They're like walking on a road going into town. They're coming from their farm into town.
Yeah, yep. Sorry, I listened to that for about an hour, and I was like, picked the worst time at work to have listened to it. It was when I could not focus on it.
You should...
Well, it didn't start off that way. I was doing something where I could, and then I had to move and do something else, and then I couldn't focus on it.
Bro, please try again. Don't let this like stop you. I promise.
No,
it's not confusing at all. Yeah, you just need to be able to like actually pay attention.
Yeah. No, I was enjoying what I was listening to. It was like you said, it suffers from beginning of the book syndrome.
For sure. Yeah, for sure it does. Yeah, just get through that beginning part, and it's good.
I was enjoying the dialogue too.
Yeah.
So that much. I just can't remember what was happening because, like I said, I was picked the worst time to actually listen to it.
So what's happening with Murphy?
I'm able to pay a little more attention to her because if I don't hear everything she says, it's okay because I know what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm. For those who don't know,
so
Murphy Napier's a booktube. She's like a big booktube YouTuber.
But I like her. Her content is very good. I like what she has to say. I really, really like. Can't pick one thing. No, I just don't disagree with anything she says. I like her takes on it. It's funny hearing her theorize.
I know. I think that's why those videos got big, to be honest. It's like because she's so confident in her theories, and it's like this is not even close. Like,
there's only been like once or twice that I've listened and I've been like, oh, okay, yeah, she's kind of on the money there.
Yeah, most of the time. Like, how far have you listened? Like, through which arcs?
I think I just started her first whole cake video.
Oh, you're way further than me. Holy crap. I'm on Marineford still.
Oh, wow.
Because me and Izai kind of listen to it together. So I don't listen all the time. But yeah, like what got me is when it was after, what is it? After Thriller Bark. And she's like, Luffy's gonna go, or maybe it was after Enies Lobby, after the fight between Blackbeard and Ace. But her theory is like Luffy's gonna meet up with Ace and he's gonna join the crew and blah blah blah. And I'm like, girl, oh my god, get ready, like you're gonna be so upset. Like,
oh yeah, I'm like, you're gonna. She keeps theorizing. I'm like, you're gonna be disappointed.
yeah,
Oh, you're gonna be really disappointed. That, or I'll be like, oh, it's way cooler than what happens is way cooler than what you're saying.
Another thing I found interesting.
Sometimes there's very.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. No, it's okay.
Occasionally she'll say something that I'm like, oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah, sometimes. But I think for me, I think what was most interesting is like, me even more than you, but you definitely at this point as well, for sure. But like, I've been watching anime my whole life. So the whole like, the tropes of like, oh, hello, doggy. There's a doggy there. Guys.
This is the dog we're babysitting.
He looks cute. If you guys are just listening, there's a cute doggy there.
Her name is Wabash.
Wabash. Pretty cute.
Like the river?
Yeah. I didn't remember, but I knew it was something from geography.
Ariel thought it was silly. I was like, Wabash? And she's like, yeah, what's that? And I was like, it's a river in Indiana.
Yeah. It's kind of cute. It's a kind of a cute name, actually. I could see that sticking. Anyway, I was going to say the whole trope in anime and manga, especially shonen manga, of like the guys do everything they can to see the women naked and to like basically pervert the women constantly. I mean, I'm so used to it. They just use it as to try to be like a comedic trope. And I'm so used to it, I don't even like bat an eye because, it's just what they do in manga. Like, I'm just completely desensitized to this. But hearing her talk about it and some of the things that like Sanji does, she gets really upset with Sanji, and I can actually totally see that. Like, if you don't come from being into anime and manga, some of the things he does is like, if you don't understand how it's used, the trope, I can totally see how it would be disappointing. Especially, where she was talking about in Thriller Bark, where it's like he's coming to save her from Absalon, which I get because Absalon is, even with the tropes of shonen, watching Absalon when I rewatched Thriller Bark was like, that was actually a bit disturbing. Like the bath scene with Nami, it's like, bro, this is actually pretty messed up. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she.
I mean, it's living out. It's when he does that, he's living out because it's been done. That sort of thing's been done in every high school comedy.
Yeah. It's not just anime.
Drilling a hole into the wall
for sure
to look at the girls, and that's not cool at all. But that's what when he's doing that. He's doing that trope of little boys spying on
the girls.
That fantasy that little boys have.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where it comes from, but
that's not cool, like you're saying.
But I do get her point for sure with that scene, especially where it's like, what Absalon did, in reality, it would probably be extremely traumatizing. It's really not okay at all. And then Sanji comes like to save the day, but then instead of saving the day, he's just mad that he doesn't have his power, so he can do the same thing. I never thought about it in that way until she mentioned it. It's like, it's
because they play it off as a joke.
I know, yeah.
And you think, but that's something that Sanji would totally do.
Yeah, but when I see it from her perspective as someone who's not a manga fan, it's like, you know what, this is pretty messed up. Like, if that was in maybe a different media where I'm not desensitized to it, maybe I would have been like, it's kind of messed up. But it's just interesting.
And I agree. I've always thought this. I don't like. They didn't need to make Brook pervy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, his whole
he's so cool, and I'm getting sick of the "Can I see your panties?"
It's literally his catchphrase.
Like, I get it, that's his
stop.
thing, but that's his thing. But like, if that was again in real life, if they wouldn't tolerate, no one would tolerate that. I'm sorry.
It's
I
because
mean, they don't. They usually punch him right in the head when they do it, when he does it, but...
Right. It's Japanese manga. Like, these things are, like, normal in Japanese manga, at least. I mean, I don't watch other Japanese stuff. Maybe it's normal in Japanese shows and movies, too, or books. I don't know. Someone have to let me know. But,
I'm not sure how much it's like, because if you read the SBSs, he gets... criticism from female fans all the time saying why do all the women have big breasts? Why?
I mean, I still agree with that. We talked about that a little bit last week, but like,
yeah.
As a guy
anyway,
who I don't. Yeah, as a guy, I understand what he's saying, like, because we talked a little bit about it last week, but it's just weird. Like, it's unrealistic to me that every single woman in this anime looks like this. Like, bro.
I think that's part of the reason he made the Amazon Lily, where it's got nothing but unique-looking women.
That's true, for sure, but I feel like Amazon Lily happened before this was a problem. It didn't really become a problem until after the time skip, honestly.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like he was concerned with making each character pretty instead of making them unique.
Mm.
Like, he's like, I'll make the character stand out, but I'm not going to make them look any different.
Right.
If that makes sense.
I was like, even with the minks, like, the female minks are all, like, drawn to be, like, sexy, like, big boobs, like, the same as the humans. It's like...
That's just to appeal to the furries.
Yeah, for sure. I think it is. Like, and I'm sure it worked for him. I wouldn't be surprised.
And it worked. I'm just kidding. Hey, Wanda, what's the dog lady's name? Wanda?
Wanda, I think. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's totally waifu. I'm not even joking.
I honestly, if I was gonna choose the minx, maybe it's. I shouldn't. I was gonna say Carrot, but then I remembered Carrot's like, how old's she supposed to be? Like 15? But I like Carrot.
They're
as
animals.
I like Carrot as a character. I would like for her to join the crew permanently, like as an actual member, to be honest. Other than
there's so many characters you meet that you're like, oh, I wish they... Okay, we need to move away from One Piece. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, what else do you have to talk about?
So I was bad, and I sent you a message last week, and I said I want to talk about our top 5 fan castings.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do any of that?
No.
Okay, neither did I.
Okay, that's good, because that means basically like choosing people that we think should play characters from video games, movies, or books if they were in a movie,
Books,
right?
anything really. Yeah, anything you want. Just if you
But-
got a character from a book that you think a character would be good for,
The reason I didn't do
or an
it,
actor would be good for.
yeah, the reason I didn't do it is because I don't really know that many actors. Like, I know the really famous ones, but compared to you, I'm not like a big
Well, that's okay.
I don't have a lot of
Just do the
actor
ones you know
knowledge.
and who you think. That's all right. We'll do this we'll save this again for the next time. Do the ones you know. You know some good ones. You can choose from the MCU if you gotta.
I mean, there's one. Should I not say it? You don't want me to say it?
You can if you wanna. I got a couple I can mention, but I can actually make a comprehensive list in a couple weeks.
Okay, well, there's one that we have been talking about for a long time, since weekday one-up days, that I still believe in. And it's, what's his face? Chris Pratt as Indiana Jones, or Nathan Drake, which obviously is not going to happen now because we have Spider-Man as Nathan Drake. Did you watch Uncharted movie?
No, I heard it's good.
I heard it's good.
Question mark.
The same. I heard it's good if you just don't take it too serious, if you just want an action movie, or if you've never played Uncharted. I heard it's really good if you never played Uncharted. But the people I've talked to who played Uncharted, they said the problem is really, it's not even, what's his name? Spider-Man. I should know this.
Tom Holland.
Yes, Tom Holland. Sorry. I was just brain farting. Of course I know. The problem isn't even Tom Holland like not looking like Nathan Drake. The problem is like they took the best parts of like all 4 games and just put it in one movie instead of making.
Really? So it's not even original?
Yes, that's what I've heard. It's just the best parts of all 4 games stuffed into one movie instead of trying to make instead of trying to follow the actual story. They just took like the biggest set pieces, the most exciting parts to make a crazy action movie. That's what everybody's saying.
Hold on now. Hold on. When we first meet Drake, he's well established in his early 30s, we'll say. Late 20s, maybe.
Early 30s. He's supposed to be early 30s, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so yeah, early 30s.
Because I think by the end, he's like in his mid 40s, 40, maybe nearing 50.
And I think it'd probably be in his 40s.
Yeah, mid 40s.
So if we're going by the first time we see him, I think he's 13. Like if we go back to like the earliest when we see him, he's like 13, I think.
Yeah, pretty sure.
When you in the beginning of Uncharted 3.
Yeah, when he meets Sully.
And then he's a little younger in 4. When you see his brother, he's like 10.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
So so you have the time between the age of 10 and the age of we'll say 32.
Okay.
You've got a good 22 years. No.
That's right.
Right? 22 years of adventures that we know he's gone on with Sully. They talk about them. That they could have just made up.
Yeah.
They could have just made up some kind of awesome original action adventure story that we haven't had in cinema since the early 2000s with like the Tomb Raider style movies and stuff like that. You know, no, those aren't necessarily good, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, sorry,
Yeah.
I got a text that distracted me.
And
what was I saying? Remind me.
you were saying they had 22 years to choose to make up a new
They had
adventure.
22 years to choose an adventure, an original story, and they just didn't do it. They didn't do it. They picked best parts from all 4 games. That's stupid.
Yeah, I think that's what's annoying is that it's supposed to be younger Drake before the games, but then they just use set pieces from the games. It's like, how does that make any sense? This can't fit
Like obviously, you see the cargo plane scene. That's in the trailer.
Yep, that's Uncharted 3.
I think Mark Wahlberg as Sully is a horrible miscast.
Completely agree. As someone who hasn't seen it, again, talking to people who love Uncharted and who watch the movie, they're telling me that Mark Wahlberg just acts like Mark Wahlberg, which sometimes that's okay. I actually personally
He's
think
charming.
I personally think that's okay in Transformers. Like, I know some people don't like that, but it didn't really bother me. But with Uncharted,
I think we got a Transformer.
yeah, but Sully is the heart of Uncharted. His character is so important.
He's Victor Goddamn Sullivan.
Yeah, I don't want Sully to be Mark Wahlberg. I want Sully to be Sully. But yeah, that's not what we get. And I also to be honest, I love Tom Holland and I understand they're going for a younger Drake, but I just don't like him as Drake. I don't care what anybody says. I
think he kind of looks the part.
I mean, yeah, for teenage
Young.
Drake. Is he supposed to be a teenager? I mean,
I think he's supposed to be like in his early 20s.
I can't even...
Like 22, 23.
I think my problem with Tom Holland, and I don't know if other people have this issue or not, to me, he's just Spider-Man. Like, I cannot look at him and not see Spider-Man.
Oh, no, I think that's totally you. He's a very popular actor.
I know, but I can't not see Spider-Man. Like, he is so... Because I really love him in that role. So he really, stands out to me as just, this is Spider-Man. Maybe I need to see more movies with him where he's not playing Spider-Man. Maybe that would help. But at this moment, like when I watch the trailer for Uncharted, at least I'm like, it's just freaking Spider-Man, bro. Like, just put on the Spidey suit and save the day. Come on. Stop playing around.
Me and Ariel were talking about this. Speaking of Uncharted, that ties into one of my fan casts that I did talk about. And I do have one more that I'll mention today, and then a couple weeks we'll do another one, actual list. Me and Ariel my wife watched a a movie last weekend. This is a very classic at this point sci-fi movie called The Fifth Element, which is very famous, very cult famous movie.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen it?
I've never seen it, but I've seen lots of cosplay at conventions from it.
Now, here's the thing. I'm going to give a quick review of that. No spoilers. It is one of the wackiest, craziest, nonsensical, awesomely action sci-fi movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's got a lot of plot issues because the writer wrote the movie when he was a teenager, so there's a lot of parts in it that are like, I wonder if a teenager wrote this.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But also, that's what kind of makes it awesome, because it kind of feels like a teenager wrote this, so it's just awesome. It's just, but I don't quite know how to tell you what it's about. I don't think you would personally like it, mainly because the effects are very 90s. I don't know how you...
I'm not as picky as I was before.
Oh, really?
Well, more if I just look
you
at
might
it.
like it then.
I more of just look at it as like I know when this is from, and I accept that it's different. But still,
the older I get, the more I appreciate practical effects. I'm like you. You know me. I'm not a CGI hater. I never will be. Never will be a CGI hater. Because sometimes, I mean, honestly, what'd you want? What'd you want the final battle in Endgame to be? Iron Man flying around in a suit? No, that whole thing is CGI, and we're cool with it.
And it looks awesome. I think
it looks amazing.
I think people nowadays in 2022 who are haters of CGI, they're not really haters of CGI. They're haters of just poorly done CGI. Because, like, most movies we watch nowadays, like, half of that crap is CGI, and you don't blink, like, you don't care.
The problem is the people who hate CGI hate it so much that most of the time, if there's even a glimpse of CGI, they're automatically like, done with this as CGI.
Speaking of getting older and like appreciating something more, I think as I've gotten older, with anime, and not just anime, but like animation, I really appreciate traditional animation a lot more than I did. Like, there's so much when I go back now and watch a lot of not just anime, American animation as well, done in traditional animation. It's so nice. It's so detailed.
Oh yeah,
and fluid. It feels so good.
Because they have to animate every single frame, even if it's digital animation, which is it's all digital now. But they have to animate every single frame. My uncle put it to me like this. My uncle worked in the world of animation. He put it to me like this. He said, now what they can do with 3D animation is great, but let's be honest, they're not animators, they're puppeteers. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, think about it. They create a 3D puppet. Yeah, they have to animate that. They have to animate it, but they create a 3D model, and then they just take a mouse and move it exactly how they want, in any way they want. And then they record however they move that puppet. You know,
right?
That makes sense. He said that it took me a while to really understand it, but I get it now. And I would never call them a puppeteer, because I think that's a whole nother bag of puppeteers are another brilliant form of animation.
I mean, what I was gonna say though is I don't think there's anything wrong with like 3D animation and computer animation. I think it's great, like things like Finding Nemo, Toy Story.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
these
I'm
movies
not saying
look
it's
incredible. But yeah,
sure.
so I would never like put it down is what I mean. But just as I've gotten older, I appreciate traditional animation on a level that I never did before. Like Aladdin, Lion King. These movies look so good.
Let me think. There is a movie that I could recommend you so many. If you're starting to appreciate 2D animation, I could recommend you
It's
so
been.
many
Oh, I have
beautiful
been for a
movies.
while. It's been for a few years, but
Uh, let me. Now it's like when someone asks you your favorite movie. You know what are movies? Now I can't think
well, even with
of
it's okay. Even you think for a second. I just want to mention One Piece again because we can't get away from
yeah.
One Piece. Or this wouldn't be the podcast for nerds if we did. Even watching One Piece again. I don't know how One Piece is animated now. Is it still technically traditional animation, but it's just done digitally? I think.
Yeah, they don't do cell animation anymore. So it's all digital. So when they say traditional animated, yes, it's traditional, but it's
Technically,
digital.
but it's digital.
It's done. It's
So I'm
done
talking
on a
about
computer.
not digital, traditional. So I'm pretty sure One Piece started as like
Yes, it
traditional
started
animation.
Yeah, as did a lot of the animes prior to like 2005.
Yeah.
I think 2005 is when anime started making the switch.
So even I started to appreciate it more watching back to the beginning of One Piece because in my brain, I thought One Piece, the beginning, is gonna look bad. Like I truly believed it's gonna look bad. It's gonna not be enjoyable to watch. And when I actually watched it again, I thought it looked better than I expected. There are issues. It's the beginning of One Piece. It's not as
Right.
exciting. But as far as the animation goes, I was surprised at how much better it looked than I expected. Like I love how the things look in Logtown, even going into Alabasta, and I don't know what's happening with Skypiea. I'm not sure if that was still done traditional or not. But in Skypiea, I was impressed many times of like this looks way better than I expected.
I'll have to look that up when One Piece switched.
Yeah,
I think they were still doing.
I'm pretty sure it is switched by Enies Lobby, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly where that happened.
Definitely by Saba ODI.
Yeah, I would imagine,
So
but I'm not sure exactly. But anyway,
I hate the name of that place. I'm just gonna say it. I hate it.
Shabondi.
There's not an N or an H in that word.
It doesn't matter, whatever you got to do. I like how Shabondi sounds.
It feels like he named it because when you in the English dub they pronounce it Saba ODI. Saba ODI.
Sabadi is how they should say
phonetic,
it. Sabadi.
Sabadi. That's what I agree. But in the dub, I think in the dub since Oda helps with the translations, I'm guessing it's supposed to be Saba ODI. And if you look at it phonetically, it's Saba ODI.
But that doesn't make
Sabodi.
sense because in the Japanese they say
It doesn't.
Sabondi.
To me that feels
Sabodi.
like
Sabodi.
they
Sabodi.
to me I could be wrong, but because Saba ODI is such it's something that I feel like with a Japanese accent could be hard to pronounce. So it almost feels like they're like just say Shabundi.
I don't know.
Because it's definitely, when you look at that word, it is not Shabundi.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, bro.
It is not. There's nothing about that word that screams Shabundi.
I need to see how it's written in Japanese, actually. Because there's one letter that gives it's like this. It's like a hook, and it gives the she sound.
So maybe in the kanji or
in the hiragana.
Hiragana. Maybe in the hiragana, it is Shabundi.
That's why I want to look at.
maybe
I want to
reading-
see how they spell it in. I can look it up now.
But it just makes me wonder, why didn't Oda just call the place Shabundi? Why did he go out of the way to call it Saba ODI?
It is
Give it a
spelled
complicated
Saba ODI,
freaking
right.
name.
Let me see. Where's the spelling? Wikipedia normally has.
While
the
you're looking
Japanese
that up,
spelling.
I want to finish my point from earlier.
For sure.
So I talked about Fifth Element, and the whole time I'm watching it, young Bruce Willis in that movie is just Nathan Drake.
Oh,
He's
really?
like, at that point, he's like the perfect age. I asked my wife, who she's played Uncharted 2, and so she's familiar with Drake. And I said, don't you think he would put a little, because he had a receding hairline fairly around, but I said, you put a dark black wig on him and put him in some cargo pants and a a long t-shirt, he'd be perfect. Bulk him out just a little bit. He's literally the perfect attitude.
Really?
Yeah, he would be great for Drake. You
You
know how Drake often, when you're running around like doing those like crazy feats, running from bad guys, Drake has this little inner monologue. Will be like, "Ah, come on, of course there's bad guys. There's always bad guys." You know, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Willis excels in that kind of thing. His entire John McClane character from Die Hard that's all he does. Oh yeah, go to a party, John. Yeah, have a good time, John. And then you get mixed up in the jet.
Right. But he's too old now.
No, so he's actually retired from acting. Did you know that?
I didn't.
Yeah, he's it's really sad. Bruce Willis has a brain condition.
Really?
He's not going to be able to speak. Yeah, he's losing his
Whoa.
ability to speak.
I did not know that. That's really sad.
I don't know the exact condition, but yeah, he basically was forced to retire because he's losing his ability to speak and
Life
and
is
other things. It'll eventually,
fickle.
I think it'll eventually affect other things, but I think it starts with his speech. And as you
That's
know,
really sad.
actors kind of most of the time need to talk.
Well, unless it's in a silent film.
I said most of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really sad that he's probably not going to get to have that one final action movie because he was such a prominent action star.
For sure. Yeah. So, okay.
And problem is he was an absolute jerk of a person.
Really?
But we don't need to get into that. Yeah, he was an absolute, just not a nice person.
So really quick, just to put an end on the Saba ODI.
Yeah.
Saba ODI. In Japanese, it's spelled with the katakana, not hiragana. It's spelled with the katakana for shibondi.
So in the katakana, it actually does sound out shibondi.
Yeah, Japanese name is
Then why didn't he just call the island
no.
Shibundi? Because it sounds better.
Hold on, wait a second. I'm looking at it again. Sha. Yeah, it is SH. So it's the katakana for shi next to the katakana for ya. When you put those next to each other, then it would be sha. So shabondi. That's how it's spelled. Shabondi.
Why wouldn't he just call it Shibundi? It sounds better than Saba ODI
And this is...
or Sabaudi.
Hold on, let me make sure this character is what I think it is. Yeah, that's the character for N. So in Japanese, it's shabondi with an H and an N in the Japanese spelling in katakana.
Why didn't they just call it Shibundi?
Great question.
That sounds more fun than Saba ODI.
Yeah,
Saba ODI, what is that? Shibundi sounds fun. Let's go to Shibundi.
Well, that's
going to
the
be a
real
fun
name.
place.
Just ignore the dub. That just always, whenever you read it, just think shabondi. That's what I do already.
I'm going to now.
Yeah.
I'm going to now. Now I'm mad at the translation. I used to be mad at the...
It's weird.
I used to be mad at the pronunciation of the Japanese. Like, why don't they just figure out a way to say Saba ODI? It's because I'm stupid and insensitive.
It is weird that they changed it because there is a letter in katakana for sa, but instead they use the H with the H. So it's not like it's not available.
There's got to be Sa, Ba, O, and D somewhere in there.
I feel so confident, like I'm reading it. I haven't studied katakana in years. Someone's going to come up in the comments like, Cody, you're wrong. But I'm feeling pretty confident. I Googled each letter just to be sure that what I'm remembering is correct, and it looks right. I'm pretty positive. But let's see. The comments will get me.
Well, for now on, I'll be calling it Shibundi.
I will be too. Even
if
the comments tell me I'm wrong. It's Shibundi. For sure.
Oh, one final thing about Murphy Napier. She used to call it Alabasta.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She said at a certain point, she starts calling it Arabasta.
Well,
And
I mean,
it's
the L and the
infuriating me.
R could be
I
either,
know,
but
I get it, but it's supposed to be Alabasta.
maybe she's reading a
it's meant
fan
to be-
translation now that writes it with an R.
It could be. It very well could be. For some reason, the official translation that I read from Viz even though his name is supposed to be Zoro, they put Zolo.
Yeah, that's the official name in the manga. Because of everyone online says that it's Zolo in the manga because when they were translating it, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard multiple YouTubers say it's because they were worried Disney might sue them because of the Zoro character.
Because they own Zoro.
Yeah, so they changed it to Zolo, even though everyone knows it's Zoro.
I think the movie Zoro, his name is spelled with 2 R's, though.
It is,
but whatever.
But
they don't own the name Zoro. They own the character.
It doesn't matter. I was reading the Viz translation before, and whenever I would see Zolo, I would just think Zoro. Like, it doesn't matter.
I do too. It throws me off. That's the other thing. I'm not reading his name as Zorotaro. I'm reading it as Zolotaro.
Yeah, that is worse, for sure. That's worse. I'll give you that. Zorotaro is much better. It feels good on the mouth.
Zorotaro does sound better. I've never said it out loud. Okay, I like Zorotaro.
Zolotaro is stupid. That sounds stupid. Yeah, that sounds stupid. What about Nathan Fillion?
I don't like Onami.
What about Nathan Fillion, bro? For Nathan Drake.
Nathan Fillion,
he's a little too old now.
I think he could have done it. Yeah, I think he could have done it if they'd... Same with Bruce Willis. If they could have made it at the right time.
Yeah.
Like, if Uncharted had been a movie made in the 90s, Bruce Willis could have done it. If Uncharted had been made in 2002, Nathan Fillion could have done it.
Right. Yeah. But what do you think about having Chris Pratt still? I mean, the reason I ask
I think he could do it.
Okay. I just asked because Chris Pratt has gotten to this point where it feels like when I mention Chris Pratt now, people don't want to hear it. Like, I feel like Chris Pratt...
Yeah, he's getting a lot of hate recently in Hollywood. He does. I don't quite understand it.
Yeah, he does.
I know part of it's due to because he's an open Christian, but I don't think that's any reason to dislike somebody, especially when he's, from what I've seen, I could be wrong, he's gone out of his way to prove that his church he attends, and all the people in Guardians of the Galaxy back him up on this, every single one of them, that the church he attends is a very nice church. They don't discriminate.
I don't think that has to do with any of it. Maybe for some people. What I am hearing from people is like they're tired of him because he's in everything. Like he's being cast in everything. In roles. You could
say the same thing about Zendaya, but
well, it's just not her time yet. People will hate her. Give it 10 years. Maybe they'll hate her.
No, they won't. No one's ever gonna. She's gonna be on this pedestal just like Taylor Swift, and everybody's gonna think she's the queen of everything.
You don't like Zendaya? I feel some resentment here.
There are some things I think she's very good in. Like I like her as MJ.
Mm-hmm.
There are some things I think, she was only put in this movie just to say they had Zendaya in this movie.
Oh, well, I mean...
like Greatest Showman.
But I think that's what's happening with Chris Pratt as well. I think it's the same. Chris Pratt's getting... I do think he's getting put in some things just to be like, we have Chris Pratt. Because he is such a huge actor now. I mean...
Did you watch The Tomorrow War?
No, I didn't.
It's actually pretty cool. It didn't get good reviews. It's not amazing, but it's actually pretty cool. The concept is from the future, the army from the future comes to the past and says, we need your help to fight this alien force in the future because our forces in the future are dwindling and we had no choice but to come to the past and recruit people from the past,
right,
to fight in this war. So they just draft people to this war in the future. You're supposed to be there for like 24 hours to help, but it's that kind of like hellish war among aliens, like that kind of inescapable thing. And he's in that, and he does good in that. But the movie's so, but it's pretty cool concept, at least.
What I think's happening with Chris Pratt is I personally stand by. I don't care what anyone says. I think he's a great actor. I think he can play comedy and action roles both really well. I don't think I've seen a movie where I thought he was bad. I don't think the problem is that he's being bad in these movies. I think people are just tired of seeing him in everything for whatever reason. Doesn't really
Which
bother
is
me,
weird
though.
because a few years ago it was the exact opposite.
I know. That's why I said give Zendaya like 10 years, because it seems like people love you and then they put you in everything, and then people are like, okay, we've seen enough of them. We're ready for somebody new. You're right. It may not happen to Zendaya, however you say it. Zendaya. I don't know. It may not happen with her, but with Chris Pratt, yeah, I definitely feel it.
Yeah, I don't dislike Zendaya by any means. I don't want anybody to take that out of account. I think she's a very fine actress.
That's not what what I heard.
Huh?
That's not what I heard.
What do you think?
It sounded like you.
What?
It sounded like you hate her, but you didn't want to say it outright.
No, I don't hate her at all. Or are you just trying to throw me under the bus?
No, it really did kind of sound like that. So if you wanna clear it up,
No. Yeah. No, I don't hate Zendaya. Like I think she performs well in The Greatest Showman. I just think it's weird. Huh?
Still haven't seen it, by the way.
I just think it's weird pairing her as the love interest of Zac Efron's character. I don't buy them as a couple at all. And that's no fault of hers. I think to me, I'm like, I don't think she was right for that role. Again, she performs it very, very well. She's very awesome in that movie. Sings great, dances great. It's just, I don't buy her and Zac Efron as a couple. I just in those movies.
Is the new Jurassic World out? I don't know.
Yeah, I saw it.
Is it good?
It's a movie.
How was Chris Pratt in it?
Fine. He did great as always. He does great. The folk he wasn't. You will probably like it.
Probably.
So let's say this. You remember in 2015 when all of us got in a big, huge group and went to the theater and huddled into a theater because we were so excited to see Jurassic World, the first one? Chris Pratt was in it. He was just Star-Lord the year prior, so... Huh?
I don't remember.
You do?
I do not.
How do you not remember these things?
I remember the movie itself, but I don't remember surrounding it. I don't remember, I could have watched it at home for all I remember. I don't know.
Oh, man. I remember going to the movies with friends. That's memories to me. I'm not just going there just to witness a movie.
Some movies where I remember, but not all of them.
That
one didn't stand out to me. As one that I remember.
That's crazy. Well, but you remember the movie stood out to you, though.
Yeah, of course. And I rewatched it.
And the hype surrounding
recently.
the movie.
Yeah, of course. We talked about it on
Do you remember that
Up.
feeling? Yes. You remember that feeling when that movie started? And you first enter the open park in the movie. Like, you finally see what a Jurassic Park would have looked like. And they're playing the music, and you're seeing the people interact with the dinosaurs and the technology and the exhibits, and it's just wonderful. And you remember that feeling of like, oh my God, I am a kid again in Jurassic Park and dinosaurs. It's great. You remember that feeling before that movie came out?
Maybe I didn't have it as heavily as you did, but yeah, I think in some way, yeah, there's a magical side to it.
Well, it's all gone in this movie.
Really? Why?
All of that is gone. There's no...
Did you like the second one?
It's okay. I liked this one better, personally.
Perfect.
Than the
I'm
second
good to go.
one.
Good to go. I like the second one a lot, so I'm good. I'm sure I'll love the third one.
I don't hate the second one. It's not bad. It's just... I'm not going to spoil the new one for you, but let's just say, there's a prologue to watch before this, right? That they didn't put in the movie. You can watch it on YouTube. It's 5 minutes long. It's just a prologue.
Is it important?
Yes and no. It it's a prologue about it's basically a little documentary. Yeah, it's kind of important because it shows that they were hunting the T-Rex at one point when she was escaped. But the prologue is about essentially about the mosquito that bites the T-Rex that becomes our T-Rex in the present time.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
You follow the T-Rex that is the base gene for our T-Rex.
That's pretty cool. I think that's cool.
And I won't spoil, but they set up in this prologue a rivalry of sorts, and a lot of the marketing was centered around sort of this kind of rivalry.
I didn't see any of the marketing. I don't know anything about this movie.
Yeah, see, I'm being vague for you. But they set up, of course, a big dinosaur fight. They're setting up that there's gonna be this big dinosaur fight, and the payoff I don't think was worth it. That's all I'll say.
Why do we need that?
Huh?
Why do we need a big dinosaur fight between two dinosaurs?
Cody. It's two dinosaurs fighting. I'm never gonna say no to two dinosaurs fighting. It's always awesome when it happens, even if why it's happening isn't the coolest thing. When it does happen, it's awesome. That final fight in Jurassic World with the two fighting, still.
Yeah.
But I don't think it needed to come down to in the second one. I don't think it needed to come down to Blue versus the Indoraptor.
I thought that was cool though, like because Blue's the underdog. Let's go, Blue. You got him.
I don't know, man.
I've come to a point in my life now, being 29 years old. I've seen it happen enough times where I think for whatever reason, I just easily accept plot points and think that they're cool when other people are like, this is not cool. This is dumb. Like, for some reason, I just, it doesn't bother me at all. Like with Game of Thrones. Like I love the end of Game of Thrones, but literally everyone hates it. I'm just like, it was cool. I don't know.
I don't hate the end of Game of Thrones, but I think they could have. Now that I know that they purposefully, like, if they tried their hardest and that's what they gave us, I'd give it more of a pass. What they gave us, I do appreciate and enjoy. I don't so much appreciate what they did with Bran, but I actually love what they did with Jon, Arya, and
I
Sansa.
love what they did with Bran.
I love that. Huh?
I love what they did with Bran.
I mean,
okay, that's what I'm saying. I just accept plot points. It doesn't.
I don't hate it, but I don't love it. It's just kind of out of nowhere. It really is just out of nowhere. It
made sense to me.
Again, and I'm only saying this now because I was more appreciative of it when it first came out, but then I found out that they purposefully rushed through the end of it just so they could move on to Star Wars.
I mean, that's obvious. That's the one thing that does bother me is, like, you can tell
to me,
it's
I'm
rushed.
like, well, what if they'd... To me, I'm like, well, I liked what you did when you didn't try. That's what I'm saying. I liked what they did when they did not try. Imagine what we could have gotten if they had. If they had actually tried. You know?
Right, for sure.
I mean, if they'd actually tried, I think it could have been a lot better, but I feel like they rushed through it, and that's obvious, of course. And personally, I was excited that they were going to do something Star Wars, but if that's how they treat their shows, then I'm glad they're not getting Star Wars anymore, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Why would I want them to do a show that when it's getting towards ending, they're just going to rush the end just because they want to move on to the next thing, you know?
Right. Isn't it interesting how they rush the end, but George R. R. Martin won't even write the end?
Well, at this point, that's probably a good thing.
I would like to know. I would like to see what the real
you've read all the books.
Is. I've only read the first 1.5. I haven't finished them all, but I will eventually. I feel no rush.
Doesn't he? He still has to finish the one he's writing, and then he has one more book after that, doesn't he?
Yeah. Originally, Winds of Winter is the next one. It was supposed to be the end, and then he decided, At some point in the middle of writing Winds of Winter, where it's not even nearly done, he's like, I'm going to write another one. Something spring something. I don't remember.
He's in his like 70s, bro.
What bothers me about it, and some people are going to disagree, I know, but what bothers me is that he says that if he dies, no one's allowed to touch it. No other author's allowed to finish it, like take his notes or anything. If he dies, we will not get the real ending ever. And he probably will die.
Thank God Oda. Thank God we know Oda's not like that, and that he's got we know he's got backup plans.
Well, it's like Wheel of Time, actually. Wheel of Time author died when there were 3 books left to finish. And
oh, wow.
Another guy, I can't remember his name now, but he's very, very famous. He writes a series called Mistborn, I think. Brendan something. But he wrote the ending, and he was like trusted to do it. He had extensive notes to work with, and people loved it. People love how those last 3 books turned out. So another author can take someone else's work and do it justice if they're given the right amount of notes to be able to pull it off. But George R.R. Martin, he said he doesn't trust that anyone else can do it. And to me, that feels so cocky. Like, you think you're so much of a better author that there's no one else. If you write really good extensive notes, there's no one else who could do it. Like, of course, they're not going to give it to some amateur. They're going to give it to somebody good. It's Game of Thrones.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, even J.R.R. Tolkien's son, Christopher Tolkien, finished off most of his uncompleted works.
Really?
For him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, like a lot of the stuff like that we have, like that was written and was done by Christopher Tolkien, but based on J.R.R. Tolkien's notes and outlines and stuff.
That's really cool.
J.R.R. Tolkien is, I compare Oda to J.R.R. Tolkien as far as building a world.
Mm-hmm. But did Oda ever create another language? I don't think so.
I mean, he created poneglyphs.
There's no way to decipher that. I've just heard people do this argument before where they compare them, and then people always go down to like, but Oda didn't create his own language and Tolkien did, so he's clearly better. It's like, it's different. There was no need. But
yeah, he created 3 different. He created like Dorvish. First off, and that's no one just does that, and that's relevant to his story though. The different languages. Right. There's no other needed languages. It's all everyone just speaks the common tongue in One Piece.
Yeah. Yeah. Even like I feel like someone's gonna come down from space and they're just gonna speak the common tongue. Like, yeah. Yeah. Speaking of all of this though, did you hear that Berserk is coming back? It's gonna be finished by the editors of Berserk.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah. Because the writer of Berserk was
hopefully it's not like the Berserk movies.
I think it's gonna be fine. I think the author of Berserk was already planning for this. He was already training his editors to be able to take it over. But it was literally almost a year to the day that he died where they announced that they would. It was a little, not exactly, but it was very close where they announced that they would continue it. And it's so interesting to see the... Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
How did he die? Was it overwork or cancer or what?
It was essentially overwork. I mean, there was actually some condition. I can't remember exactly what happened, but from what I read, it stemmed from overwork. Yeah.
Yeah, that manga industry's got to change. I'm glad Oda's taking a month off.
You haven't read Berserk, right?
No, I'm. That probably might be the next big manga I tackle, but we'll see.
I don't know if it's actually the manga industry's fault on this one, because he's not in Shonen Jump. He was in I can't remember what it's called. It's like a Japanese version of Playboy. It's like a similar thing that it was published in. I can't remember what it's called.
He was in a nudie mag, huh?
Well, it's definitely an adult magazine, no doubt about it. I'm not sure how nudie it is, but people compare it to Playboy from what I read online.
Okay.
But so he wasn't like rushed in the way that Shonen Jump rushes their authors. But the problem with Berserk was that if you ever read it, you'll see what I mean. He just has this. He was a perfectionist in the way that he would not put out a chapter until literally every pixel is perfect. Like, apparently there was some time where he's talking about how he'll go in and he's literally changing just like pixels that no one will notice, but to him it's not right until he does this. So he was just like killing himself the way that he
you
was a
can't work. People,
perfectionist.
it's one thing to be a perfectionist, but you can't nitpick yourself like that.
But it did give an amazing product. Like the art in Berserk, there are some panels or full page spreads from Berserk that I feel like could be in an exhibit in a museum. They're so incredibly so ridiculously detailed. It's amazing. But
I can say that you can tell Oda with One Piece. There are times in his and there are times when I'm looking at it and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
For sure.
On this page right now.
I agree. Oda has to do what he's got to do. He's got things where it looks incredibly detailed and beautiful, and then he'll have like other panels where it's like, bro, I don't know what this one. I get it. You got to just do this one quick. And
the most recent one for me, small spoilers on One Piece, just small.
We can't keep spoiling One Piece,
fighting,
bro.
I know. But when Big Mom is fighting a character, I won't say who it is.
Okay.
There, no spoiler. Big Mom is fighting a character, and you just cannot. It took me. I stared at that page for 3 minutes before I was finally like, oh, I see what she's doing.
I'm confused a lot in One Piece with the fights, but I was reading some of One Piece in the color edition. Makes so much more sense. Reading manga in color changes everything. It's just the black and white. Yeah. Even
you gotta find it.
Sometimes I might have read fan translations. Maybe it's happened before. Ugh. And there's it's okay. But sometimes it doesn't make sense. And at the bottom, on the pages where I've read it, they will put where fans have colored in like the most exciting pages. And so I look for those sometimes to help me make sense of what I'm seeing. And most of the time when I see it in color at the bottom, I'm like, that's what happened. Like there's this huge part in the third part of Wano. Something happens with Big Mom. I won't say what it is, but I was really confused. And then when I saw it in color, I'm like, it's so obvious. Like it's so obvious if it's in color, but it's black and white. There's so much happening. I couldn't tell.
I could see that with what I was talking about. Too.
Yeah.
Like if I'd have seen it in color, I'd have been like, I'd immediately like, oh, that's cool. But instead, I had to stare at it for like 3 minutes, and I was like, what is this? Oh, she's doing that. That's
this isn't
cool.
just us.
But by the time I figured it out, I was like, okay, I need to move on.
Yeah, Murphy said the same thing.
What?
I'm sure you heard in her videos where she's talking about that she would have like normal one, the official translation, then she'd have a fan translation of the color version, so she can just like look over at the color version from time to time, because sometimes it's confusing in the black and white. I had that problem as well with Maggie. I was reading Maggie and I'm like, I don't always know. I don't really know.
I want to read Maggie so bad.
It was good, but I read Berserk and then One Piece and then Maggie, and Maggie is good, but it's just not on the level of Berserk and One Piece. Like Berserk and One Piece can be up there as like some of the all-time best manga ever written, and then Maggie was like, this is good, but I can feel that I have stepped down a little bit. I should have put some space between them. Like I'm not saying it's bad. I just should have done something else first and then come back and read Maggie.
So I think I'm winding down. I think I want to start to wrap things up for tonight. It's getting a little late on my end, a little early on your end.
Sure.
So the one other fan cast, again, next week we'll probably do a full list, and I won't mention the two that I've mentioned, so it'll be 5. It'll be 3 to 5. It doesn't have to be 5.
I'll bring the.
Well, I said 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now. And so the last one I'll say is Richard Armitage. Cody, you like the Hobbit movies.
Oh yeah.
The guy
There's
who
another
played
example
Thorin.
of me liking things. Who's
What?
that? I said that's another example
His
of
name
me
is-
just liking everything and like people hating it.
Oh, I agree. I love the Hobbit movies. I that's something I will never understand the hate for. But
Oh,
But,
this guy. Okay, yeah, I found him. Mm-hmm.
cut his hair just a little bit, shave the beard, pull his hair up really tall and spike it. He's Vegeta.
I knew you were gonna say Vegeta. I'm sitting there looking at him, and I'm like, he's about to say this guy should play Vegeta. All right, Dragon Ball
is
Evolution
Vegeta,
2.
though.
Dragon Ball Evolution 2. I mean, he's short. Is he actually short, or is it just because he's playing a Hobbit?
I don't think he's
Or
tall.
he's not a Hobbit. What's he playing? He's
A dwarf.
Dwarf. Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, they can digitally alter height, so whatever.
Yeah, but let's be real. The Hobbit got way more money than whatever Dragon Ball movie's gonna get made. They're not gonna give it the budget it actually needs. No way.
No, they won't. But for me, it won't happen. By the time they actually get to a Dragon Ball movie, he'll be way too old, and they'll cast some really young dude to play Vegeta.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Vegeta's only supposed to be like in his 20s or 30s. I don't know how old Vegeta is.
He's 5 years older than Goku. Goku is, I think, 20.
At the beginning of Dragon Ball Z?
Goku is like, because he's like 18 at the end of Dragon Ball, and then there's a 5-year time skip, so he's like 23. So Vegeta's between 28 and 30 when you first meet him.
Goku is... What? Oh, this is... At the beginning of the series, Goku is 49? No.
Of Super, maybe.
Maybe of Super. 25.
Or GT.
Okay, by the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, he's 25. So Vegeta would be 30.
Yeah,
Right.
okay. So, yeah. So he still would have been too old then, but that's okay. Because Vegeta looks a little gruff and older, so it's fine. I'd be fine with an older guy playing him. But by the time they actually get to it, he'll be way too old. But if they'd have done if they could have done, again, perfect timing, if they could have done a Dragon Ball movie in circa, say, 2012, Richard Armitage would have been the perfect Vegeta. He's got the eyebrows, the forehead, you could give him a wig, his voice is perfect. His voice is all deep and gruff. Like that.
Who would you want to play Dumbledore if they made like a Netflix
Dumbledore?
series? Yeah, if they did it, because I
Like
still
young Dumbledore? Or?
hold on. No. I'm still living on this dream that someday they're gonna make a Netflix or HBO series of all the Harry Potter books where they can do all the scenes. It's a dream. It's never gonna happen. But if they did,
It will one day. I think it'll happen one day.
Who would you want to play Dumbledore? Is there anyone? Is there any old man who really works for it now?
Let's see. I was never the original actor. Even in the anniversary special, everybody says that he was spot on what Dumbledore was in the books. In the first 2 movies.
Right.
You agree with that?
I don't know. I'm
'Cause I've not
biased
read the
already.
books.
I'm already biased because I think of the second actor who plays Dumbledore more as Dumbledore from growing up watching the movies. So even when reading the books, I'm picturing him.
I was never his performance is fine, but I was never 100% sold as like, because in the first one, Dumbledore's he's supposed to be this, or at least for me, and he was this kind of calming presence, this calming presence that was always cool-headed and very grandfatherly, and I don't get the grandfatherliness in the second actor.
I agree with that.
I get the powerful wizard. I get that, but I don't get the grandfatherliness that I would expect, because I assume in the books he probably feels like that too.
Yeah.
Like there's a very like warm.
I think he does feel more
warmness
like
to
the
him.
first actor. I think you're right.
Because in those first 2 movies, they'll straight up run up and just wrap their arms around him and hug him, and he'll embrace them as like a grandfather would a grandkid or
Definitely.
an uncle or something.
In the books, when you see Dumbledore, you feel calm and confident. Everything's in control. Everything.
I mean, it's already been memed to death, but all you need to do is like, how did you put that up in the goblet of fire?
What? I don't know what that even means.
Exactly.
I don't know.
So in the book, I've read this part of the book. In the book, he comes up and he says, Dumbledore asked Harry calmly, Harry, did you put your name in the goblet of fire? In the movie,
Yes.
he chose to stumble in drunkenly and go, how did you put that in the goblet of fire?
That's true. In the books, Dumbledore's almost always calm. Pretty much always. But yeah, the second actor, he's definitely more... He chooses sometimes to be more intense. Yeah, I totally agree with that. So the first actor in that role was better.
That never quite gelled with me. Obviously, my very first choice would be Ian McKellen, the guy who played Gandalf.
We're talking about... Is he alive?
Oh, yeah, he's alive.
He is? But he's too old,
Oh,
right?
he's living. He's still acting. Yeah, he's still doing it.
What was the dude who played, what's his name? Did he play Sauron? Sauron? What's his name?
Oh, Christopher Lee, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Saruman.
He's dead. Saruman, yeah. He could have done it.
He would have... no, I don't think he would have been a good Dumbledore. He's way too scary. There's nothing calming ever about Christopher Lee.
But it's acting. He could put him in the right outfit. But you're right, Gandalf.
You haven't seen a whole lot of Christopher Lee movies, have you?
I saw him in... What did I watch recently? He was in something... Oh, he was in Dark Shadows. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
right.
Tim Burton used him a lot.
Not calming at all.
He's not a calming actor. You know, he's also probably the legit most badass actor that's ever lived, right?
Because he was in a metal band. I know. Everybody knows.
No, No. Dude. He was like an actual, like, British agent. Like, he's actually killed people.
Why isn't he in prison? Well, he's dead.
Like,
but why wasn't
war,
he in
he's
prison?
Killed people. He's killed... like a James for spies. He's actually killed people for spy stuff.
Ooh, that's a good
was a
question.
spy.
Okay, I'm sorry. Who should be the next James Bond?
James Bond is literally based on Christopher Lee. From what I've heard. I could be wrong, but from what I've heard, James Bond is literally based on Christopher Lee.
Who should be the next James Bond? That's what I want to know, and then we can leave.
Well, I do think it should be someone of color.
You don't think it should be Chris Pratt? I'm just playing.
I think it should be someone of color. I don't think Idris Elba would be. A lot of people want him to be Bond, but I kind of agree. I don't like how the author worded it. He worded it kind of insensitively. But
Really?
I do he said he's too street, quote unquote.
Really?
Whatever that means. Yeah.
What does that mean? That to me sounds like he doesn't want someone who's black. Because how?
That's what
Idris
it sounds
Elba,
like. But
how is he street?
He said he's not opposed. He said he's not opposed to a black person playing him. He just doesn't want Idris Elba to play him.
But it would be so good. I mean, Idris Elba's getting older.
I
though.
agree.
We need to go ahead
I agree, and I disagree. I do because James Bond is supposed to be suave.
He's an actor. He can do it.
But not every actor has the range that you think. Actors don't have just perfect range. You know, you have to...
How is Idris Elba not suave? I don't know how he could... I could totally see him pulling that
He's
off.
too... How do I explain this? It's not the street thing. No, it's not anything to do with... It's nothing to do with that. And everything
Sounds like you're saying he's too street, bro.
He's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. He's not... James Bond isn't a tough guy. Yeah, he's a tough guy. He can fight, but he's not a tough guy. Idris Elba...
Did you like Daniel Craig as Bond?
See, to me, I'm always going to picture Pierce Brosnan.
Me too.
As Bond.
It's because when we grew up, I think.
Probably, and to me, every time I think he just... Personally, I think he's the most handsome of the Bonds. Mm-hmm. But that's beside the point. But he Daniel Craig's movies are good. I think his
sure.
movies are very, very good. But I don't know if I was ever sold on him as James Bond. Like, to me, it just felt his performance as James Bond. It could have just been any dude because he doesn't really play it.
I totally agree. He is too blonde. You know, Bond should have blonde hair.
Think he wasn't the first. He was like the third blonde Bond.
I'm just playing around. I really like. I think they need to get Sean Connery back from the grave, and
I was about to say, too bad he did, and beat his wife when he was alive.
Did he? I didn't hear that. Okay, sorry.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know. I didn't follow all the.
But apparently, that's just like, I don't know if it's true, but I guess Christian Bale. This could be wrong. Christian Bale, I guess, has a similar issue, and supposedly that just. Again, I could be wrong on this. I might just be bullcrap, so I'm sorry if this sounds wrong. But
okay,
supposedly that's just a common thing, unfortunately, in like Scotland, is spousal abuse.
Somebody let us know in the comments if that's right or not, because I don't want to.
I could be wrong. I heard that years ago from from looking back, probably not a reliable source. It's not like I've sat here believing that. It's just something I heard.
Let's hope
so
that's
I'm
not
just
true.
relaying what I've heard. I hope
Christian
it's not.
Bale is.
I really hope it's not, and I'm not.
Because Christian Bale.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, and probably am. I hope I am. So, sorry for any insensitivities.
What about Robert Pattinson as James Bond?
That could work.
After Batman, do you think it could work?
That could work. That could absolutely work.
I still haven't seen Batman, so I don't know.
I don't think he's quite that suave.
Right. Oh, it's okay for him, but it's not for Idris Elba, even though he's not suave?
I think he could be more... I think he could be more of that suaveness that that James Bond has than Idris Elba. But I do think it should be an actor of color. That I do think. I don't think.
Is that a conversation? I mean, I'm not part of this. I haven't followed this. I just think I don't care who it is. A lot of people want
the next Bond. A lot of
just
people
want
the next Bond to be
just for the representation.
Yes, because it's been nothing but white guys. But the character is also in the books written as a white man. But
I get that. I don't care what race Bond is. I just didn't know there was a push for him to be. I just think whatever actor feels right, whoever actor's personality feels right is who it should be. I don't really care.
When I say he should, I say I think it would be cool. Because also, if you didn't know, you know how much I like Doctor Who, and the Doctor changes all the time.
Yeah, I heard about...
The most recent Doctor was a woman. He turned into a woman. The next one, he's becoming a black man.
What if James Bond was a woman?
See, that's what I was getting at. I don't think I would like James Bond to be a woman.
I have the right choice. Zendaya.
She's black. And she's a woman. Perfect.
It's literally perfect. Yes.
No, I'm not going to say that. I'll tell you that off camera.
What? Okay. So who's your pick? Who's your pick? If you had to pick one, we're going to get off here. No, forget Gandalf. I moved on to James Bond. And then we can
my pick for James Bond. Oof. It's got to I say someone British cuz traditionally they're British or from the UK. Got to think of my British actors.
They got to be a little younger because they're going to have to be Bond for a while, right? They can't be too old. Maybe 30s, early 40s.
30s, yeah. I'm thinking David Tennant would probably be a good choice, but...
Bro, get these doctors out of here, bro. No. It has to be British.
Doctor Who hate cloud it.
It absolutely has to be British.
They're typically played by someone from the UK.
I know they typically are, but is it... If they were played by an American actor, would it be a problem? Is what I'm curious. I don't
want it to be played by an American actor.
Okay.
It'd be like having an American play the Doctor. It wouldn't be right.
I still
Like I
think they're
said,
actors,
from the UK,
though.
Scotland, Ireland, England, around there.
But they're actors. Like
Ooh.
Tom Holland's British and he plays American so well.
Again, you can't just blindly cast people just because they're actors.
I'm not saying
And just
blindly.
because they
I'm
can
just
do
saying
accents.
if they can do it.
Just-
Okay. I'm
You
probably
can't-
making
you-
people
you
upset.
gotta
I'm
pick.
sorry, guys. I like James Bond, but I'm not like a huge James Bond fan. So that's why I don't care as much. And I'm American. I'm sure it
mean,
matters more to someone
and
from
also-
the UK.
Just because you're an actor doesn't mean you can act. Let's look at Amber Heard all the way through her trial. Heyo!
Whoa, dude! Did you see on the interview? No, okay, we won't. We don't need to get into that.
I haven't
Anyway.
watched that interview yet, but I've heard it's absolute gold.
It's. I found it a little annoying because they put out a bunch of previews, and the previews are basically the whole interview. There's a little bit more. Everything else is just like they're recapping the trial the whole time. They're just recapping the trial between the interview parts.
Yeah, I've heard people come out and say, she reveals startling new information. I'm like, why didn't she reveal it at the trial then?
She didn't really reveal anything. It was anyway. Sorry, who's playing Bond? We can't leave
Bond.
until I get your pick.
All right. Okay, I'm trying to pick through the British actors I know.
Goku.
Hugh Jackman could probably do it, but I pick Hugh Jackman for everything, so I don't need to do that again.
You do.
And he's also Australian, so
Yeah, come on. Australian and British people are not the same. I know us Americans.
They
you know,
are.
that
No,
we
you're right.
don't-
You're right.
You know,
You're right. You are right.
they both sound different than us, so we think they're the same, but it's not. They both like the Queen.
I'm trying to think, darn it. Trying to think through all my British actors that are alive. You know what? Gone to a head. First actor I can think of, Andrew Garfield.
Weird, but okay.
He's British. He's charming. He's charming as hell.
Mm.
The one problem is I don't think I could take him seriously. I take him as a serious badass. But I've also not seen him in his serious roles. Then again, he's pretty serious when he's Spider-Man, so I don't know. I think he could do it if he bulked out just a little bit.
Hear me
Just
out.
a little bit bigger.
What about Johnny Depp?
He's not British.
But everyone always thought he was
I-
British, and when you watch his movies, you're like, oh, he's British. He's got a British
Just
accent.
because he does it really well.
Yeah, I thought
He
he was
also
British.
supposedly lived in England and supposedly picked up the accent. But I think, like most people, I think most of it, like most people, I think I'm just under the assumption that he was just being pretentious. You obviously
Maybe.
can pick up an accent, but I think he exaggerated his to be pretentious. Because let's be honest,
He
we all
wanted
love
to
Johnny Depp.
sound like. He said he was copying some like rock star's accent. I can't remember who. That's what. He wanted to
For
sound
Jack
like.
Sparrow, he was doing Keith Richards, the guitar player of Rolling Stones.
Yes.
His whole entire Jack Sparrow performance is a caricature of Keith Richards from Rolling Stones.
All right.
And
Well,
Keith
I
Richards
don't.
even plays his dad.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool actually. I really liked that. I don't have an actual answer for that because all of mine would be probably American because I don't know any actors.
Most of them are probably British, and you don't know it.
They probably are, and I don't know it, but I don't know.
Or Australian, British or Australian.
Yeah. So, but we can go ahead and call it a day. It was good.
Yes, sir.
You wanna take
I
us
think
out?
signing off next week's your week, and are we doing a do not Adult Swim?
We'll see if
Is that
I
next
got
week?
time to set it up. We'll see if I got time to set it up or not. Maybe.
Well, either way, we'll talk about that at some point.
Yes.
So for now, I say goodbye, everybody. So long. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. And as always, stay nerdy.